Hello, welcome to Patrice's Projects. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video and I do apologize. Just real quick, I suffer from major depression and chronic pain. I've mentioned it before, but for those of you who are new to the channel, those are things that I deal with. And this year has been really rough. It hit me in the summer and just kind of latched on and held on. So I haven't posted because I haven't had much to show. I haven't been doing much. I did do some videos and I'll try and get those up. I did plant a little bit out in the garden for fall. I have peas growing right now. And in the garden room, last year I grew cucumbers, tomato plants. I grew cucumbers in the garden room. And I grew tomato plants to full size, and they were ready to, start growing fruit out in the garden. The peppers were beginning to grow peppers here in the garden room. I just had a lot of things. I grew lettuce and spinach, and it was just really fun. This year I couldn't seem to get anything planted, so I had nothing really to share. And I have a million projects I could be doing. I just couldn't seem to get going on them. But I'm going to talk to you about that, and with your encouragement, I'm hoping that this year is a much better year for me. So let me show you what I do have going on in the garden room, and most of it is stuff that I planted last year. And let me show you real quick. This is the only thing I've planted for spring so far. And it may look like just a slight bit of dirt. I put some sweet potatoes in there, just little tiny ones, and there's about 5 in there, I believe. And I saved them from last year's harvest, the little tiny ones that are too small to peel or too crickety and small to peel and use. So I saved them just for growing slips. And Danny over at Deep South Homestead, he did it in soil instead of doing. I have a few videos on starting sweet potato slips, where you take a normal sized sweet potato, you put some toothpicks in it, put it in a glass of water just like you would an avocado pit to grow, and then it grows slips off that. I decided to use those little bitty ones, and instead of wasting them, save them to make slips. Anyway, that's all I have started for this spring garden. All of this is from last year, so it's almost all basil. So this variety here, here is from and it's also over there, and there, and that one. Those are all called Christmas Thai basil, and it's not a true Thai basil because it's not all red. Let's see, true Thai basil has a lot of red on the stem and stuff like that. These don't. And I let them go to flower because these, like I said, are from last year's plants. They just kept wanting to flower, and I thought, oh, why not have a little cheer in the room? So got these little bitty flowers all over them. And if they pollinate, that's great, because it is a nice, slight licoricey, minty type basil flavor. It goes well in Asian foods, and it just goes well in food. And then the middle one here is sweet basil, and I got the seed from Ray over at Praxxus 55712. He does a yearly giveaway. In fact, it's going on right now, of seeds, and that was something that he gave away either last year or the year before. And I planted it, and I've been propagating it off of itself. In fact, this one needs it soon, though I don't need more basil. In fact, this I propagated off of it, and that. This pot I plan to keep, and the one I was just showing up there on the top shelf. Here's another basil between these cute little lemon trees. So this is the exciting thing in the room. This is a little lemon tree. I planted both of the seeds, this one and this one, at the same time, from the same lemon. They were both starting to sprout inside the lemon, and for a long time they both had the same number of leaves. It's just one was a lot tinier than the other with teeny tiny leaves. I keep the little one just in case the big one croaks, but so far both are looking healthy. This one is just tiny. Maybe it'll be a dwarf tree. That'd be kind of cool. So that's the only exciting thing going on. The only other thing I have in here is my garlic chives. And I started those last year as well. I just keep trimming them, giving them a haircut just like grass. And it just keeps growing. So let's go out in the garden and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I am hoping for this year. Before we get out to the garden, I've shown the front of the garden room before and it had pretty plants around it. It's winter. The basil plants have died. My other herbs are not doing well. This bucket I had stuck some sweet potatoes into that I thought might take off, but they didn't. And there's some pepper plants that I don't know why they're still alive. It didn't even produce peppers last year. They flowered and flowered at the end of season and nothing. That one and that one there. This one is from actually 2 years ago. It's my poblano, and it produced pretty well this past season. And it's still alive. I think I'll pull it this year though. Over here, this is I'm excited about too. I planted these probably later in spring is when I put the seeds in the garden room, and then I planted them out at the beginning of summer. And they grew slowly, but once it cooled off, they've done really well. And they're perennials, so they'll just keep growing and growing, and I'm hoping that this year I get some artichokes off of them. Did I mention they're artichokes? This is what the other door is to my garden room, and it's my tool shed that I built, and that's why the garden room looks so narrow. It's because it is. And this is why I have been backed up for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I have a pecan tree, and let me show you. I mean, I've already given away 1 bag full, but I have loads and loads of pecans, and I've been picking a lot of them up off of my patio and out of the garden area. I don't know if you can see just how many are on the ground over here. I've already harvested this area completely once, and I got a lot out of there. But some piles like this, we rake together, and we may or may not take the pecans out and just get rid of them, because there's no way of using this many pecans. This is actually a raked up pile of pecans, but you see I have ivy all over back there, and the pecans are seeds. They will grow. And my ivy, my husband likes ivy, just goes on and on underneath this big pecan tree, which I can't really show it to you because of the sunlight. Anyway, my pecan tree is that one up in the middle, and it is just super tall. That's way up there. And here's the pecan tree from my garden area. So I've picked up so many pecans out of this area. I have to, because I have this mulch that it will get buried into, and the seeds will grow, and they also fall into my soil in the garden, and they'll grow there. So I have to really stay on top of it. Well, I'll have trees everywhere. This is one thing I was able to get done, thankfully, was my garlic. I think I only planted like 26 or something like that, and I should have planted more, but I've got garlic. I mean, that's all that matters. This is from the garlic I had gotten 2 years ago over at a farmer's market, and then I had planted one of them in the ground. Last year, they did really well, so I planted more. Over here, this is garlic that I had purchased at a store and planted it last year. And I saved some. Look at the size difference. You can see the store-bought, the farmer's market. Store-bought, farmer's market. Here's a little bit of spinach. This was from seed from the garden room. Last year I let, at the end of the season, or when it got too warm for it, I let it go ahead and flower, and that sat outside in the sun and just harsh conditions, and the seeds were still viable. So this is what I did plant. I planted carrots, garlic, tested these seeds, thankfully. I've got my red oak leaf lettuce, a little bit of butter crunch, and then I have some bok choy back there, as well as some mustard greens, or mustards, that were given to me by one of my viewers during, I had done a seed giveaway last fall, and she gave me some mustard seeds. Or was it spring? Could have been spring. And then back there, that curly looking stuff, that is the endive that I was giving seeds away for that no one really took, and it's delicious stuff. But this, right here, this is my tomato plant that it never died completely. And I harvested it out a couple of times because we were expecting frost. So I took all the tomatoes bigger than a marble off, and then the other ones would grow, and I harvested it out again another time when we were supposed to get some frost, and left the marble-sized ones, and it grew. So you can see the plant is in really bad shape, but thankfully it has tomatoes on it, so I won't have to wait forever for tomatoes. I will remove this plant. This is a boxcar willy that I had gotten seeds in Ray's seed swap. Ray over the Praxxus 55712 channel. I'll post a link to his channel right up over there. I believe that's where it pops up. And he does some great gardening. In fact, right now he's giving seeds away in his yearly giveaway. If you're not familiar with his channel or haven't been there in a while, you might want to go and check out that video. He gives them away all the way through January, so hopefully I get this up really soon. And I also have this tomato plant. This is a cherry tomato plant. Orange Russolini I had gotten from Tim Huffman. I'll post a link to his channel right up over here. And he has some really good beekeeping and gardening videos. This I had purchased last fall a 6-pack of Brussels sprouts. Does that look like a Brussels sprout to you? If it does, you've been lied to. That is broccoli. And I like broccoli, which is great. Obviously that head's not going to get as big as it should. It is actually only the size of a baseball, and it's getting close to harvest. The plant behind it is supposed to also be a Brussels sprout, as well as these two and these two. And the leaves do look different. See the shape of these leaves and how green they are. And those compared to these, and the older ones have a purplish hue, so I'm hoping the others are in fact Brussels sprouts, because they're more expensive, and I have not had good luck yet with Brussels sprouts, so I'm trying again. Planted a little bit of cauliflower early in fall, and that's as far as it's gotten. A little cilantro, that's about it for the garden. But, well, actually it's not, I lied. I have my strawberry bed. These just kept trying to produce strawberries. Look at that. And they're not good strawberries during the winter, I must say. They're hard. They'll get a little bit of a sweet flavor, but they stay pretty hard. I have not been able to fill those two parts of the keyhole bed yet. But I have been putting my compost into that one. So that's all my compost. This bed, I still have some green onions from last summer. They were behind, what was there? Cucumbers. So they were shaded, so they stayed really small, which was good because now I have green onions. but I still had some from spring anyway, spring planting. I have Swiss chard. That's the other thing I want to show you over here. I have Swiss chard. And then I also have some Russian kale. It's both red Russian and green Russian. It was a mixed pack, and I had gotten it when I went to that Baker Creek thing that they did in Santa Rosa that I posted videos on. I can't remember the name. Expo, something about Seed Expo. So there's this side of the garden. Oh, and I still have some watermelon radishes. I'm not impressed with the flavor. They're too hard. And the other thing, my experimental, this was supposed to be an icicle radish, but let me zoom up on the top of it here. It's pink. There's also a little bit of pink down toward the soil over on that side over there. And icicle radishes are pure white. So I'm letting this one overgrow and go to seed so that I can harvest seeds because it's so cute. And I thought, well, gosh, if I can create my own variety of icicle radish, I don't know, pink icicles, sure, why not? Then that'd be fun. Here's something that I did plant for fall, and I'm so glad that I did. Actually, it's the wrong variety. I thought it was sugar snap type peas. They're called Oregon sugar peas. They're more of the flat pod. And my son and I really prefer the sugar snaps over the flat pod. But these are, we've been eating them, and I believe Ray is selling them on his site, the Little Shop of Seeds, 55-cent seed packets. Highly recommend you go over and check that out. Again, you can find the link to that at his channel. So go over and check out Ray's channel. If I didn't already post a link, I'll post it there. It'll also be in the description down below. So these they grew up to be about 9 feet tall. The wind blew them over, and what's really nice is they're super resilient. So even when the branch bends like that, it will stay alive and keep producing. This is the branch coming up again. And I notice even when there's a break in it, as long as there's, you know, about a third of the branch holding on, it will stay alive. And I'm waiting to see how it produces on those branches, because it might just be sapping energy. We'll see. But I am looking forward to a major haul real soon. I've been harvesting off these, a small handful a day, but it looks like I'm going to get a bucket full soon. So that's what's going on in my garden right now and in my garden room. So as you can see, I haven't really planted anything in months, other than yesterday putting the little sweet potatoes in some soil to grow the slips, and I'm way behind on that, in fact. I just looked at a planting schedule and I'm way behind. But what I need your help on is encouraging me. I do well with encouragement. If I say I'm going to do something, I try my best to do it, especially if other people are counting on me. And some of you, like you, Nancy, I consider you a really good friend, and you, Enoch, as well. And Enoch has a channel, The Urban Gardener, and I'll post a link to his channel as well, and it'll be in the description down below. But if you friends are counting on me and encouraging me, if I don't post a video for a while, mention it in the comments of an older video, because I will read all of the comments, and I do respond, and hopefully I respond in video format. I have so many projects that I need to do and could be doing, and I know how to do so many things, and many of them I do pretty well, and I love to share. So help me to share with you. I would appreciate that. That's all I really had to talk about today. It's getting noisy in my neighborhood right now, so I guess I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and take this time to subscribe and then click that bell button for notifications of upcoming videos. I'd really appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or encouraging words, go ahead and put that in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you soon. I'll talk to you soon, I hope.